Good afternoon and welcome to Watson Park on this Saturday non-league day for all those fans to come out and get behind non-league football. They have here in Ware this afternoon, and it's not surprising, a really big game in prospect here. One of the two games of the day really in Southern League Division 1 Central. Third place Ware against second place Bedford Town. We've got Easter and then we've got 4 Saturdays to sort out who's going to be promoted to Step 3. Champions go up as of right, and then the next 4 teams will contest the playoff. Bedford will think that they've still got a very good opportunity of being champions of this division, and Ware will have their sights firmly focused on a place in the top 5. Everything that played for here at Watson Park, with 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. I'm Peter Hill. We'll have full live commentary coming up for you with myself and, of course, our match summariser. Very good afternoon to Simon Alamandy.
Yeah, good afternoon, Pete. Good afternoon, everyone, and happy National Non-League Day. We've been looking forward to this game, all week, and it's finally arrived, Pete, and hopefully it's going to live up to our expectations.
Well, we hope so. Do they do a card for National Law? I mean, you get card for everything else, don't you?
I'm sure if you ask Moonpig or other card retailers that are available, they do one for you, I reckon.
Well, both teams are in the tunnel waiting to come out, so let's give you the team news. As far as Ware are concerned, Paul Halsey makes 2 changes from the team. Got 1 3-1 at North League. This time last week, in comes Mitch Hahn, in comes John Clements, and onto the bench go Kieran Bishop and Freddie Moncur. So Ware will line up with Fred Burbage in goal, the 2 fullbacks, Steph Giorgio and David Soter, who there was a query about an hamstring injury with him, but he is fit, and the 2 central defenders, Echo Coker and Jack Grosvenor. Mitch Hahn will operate just in front of those, and then just in front of him, the other 2 in midfield will be Alex Warman and George Ironson in support of a 3-man front 3, which will have Theo Afori and Joe Dearman playing wide, and John Clements through the middle. Ware substitutes Ben Siggers, Freddie Moncur, Jack Dreyer, Kieran Bishop and Richard Ennin. As far as Bedford are concerned, well, they've only won 1 of their last 7. They're 16th in the Form League and come off the back of 2 defeats against Hadley and against AFC Dunstable in midweek, when they were beaten 3-0 when they went early down to 10 men. They'll start with Mark Smith in goal, Carl Connolly, Lewis Green, Carl Mensa, Alex Collard, Fernando Bell Toxtell, Ryan Blake, Jack Green, Liam Dawson, Liam Lobjo and Henry Dudley. On the substitutes bench for the visitors this afternoon, the De Silva brothers, Rio and Cole, Adam Martin, Charles Stallard and Jamal Olayinka. Our referee this afternoon is Joe Karam, who is a development officer with the Arts Football Association and lives in Milton in Cambridgeshire. We've seen him before. He was here when Ware won 3-0 against Kempston, booked a couple on that occasion, and also when Welling Garden City lost 4-3 at home to Tame, when he booked 4. So we'll see what we get from him. His 2 assistants will be Darren Lander and Mark Simmons. Well, Simon, Bedford, off the back of 2 defeats, you would expect some kind of bounce back, but Ware, of course, will be remembering back to early in the season when they went to New Erie and got thumped 7-1, and they want revenge for that.
Yeah, of course they will. I mean, I'm sure Paul's reminded the team of that score and of that fixture, and also of the importance of getting 3 points here today. As we say, second versus third, and it's massively important if they want to consolidate a place in those playoffs.
Well, it's the home side again. They kick us off, kicking from left to right in their blue and white striped shirts and blue shorts. And Bedford in change strip of yellow shirts, black sleeves and black shorts. Seeing the familiar figure of Liam Dawson in front of us wearing the number 9 shirt. Still trying to get used to that. 111 Ware appearances and 60 goals in that time. He's got 4 for his new club so far, which beats his tally to 24 so far this season. George Ironson is about to get us underway here. We're wondering about the attendance, but certainly it has grown considerably since we got here very early at 2 o'clock. And looks like what you'd expect for non-league day here in a match between two of the real contenders at the top of Division 1 Central. The other game, of course, big game of the day that I alluded to, Welwyn Garden City against AFC Dunstable. That's 1 and 2 in the Form League, and two teams that really have a great opportunity as well of finishing in that top 5. And a full start for the second time, I think, a referee. Not quite sure what the referee, I think he saw Joe Dearman sort of a little bit edge into the Bedford half, but won't say anything about Mr. Karam, but I will say, to get it out of the way, he got bold red on my spreadsheet, which regular listeners will know what that means, so let's hope he has a better game here. As ball given away by Echo Coker early on for Ware, and given it away on that side to Leon Lobjoint. Ball out on the far side of the field. Bedford coming forward very quickly. Jack Green plays the ball out on the far side. It's threaded out to the wing and then thumped forward. Comes off the back of David Soter from Lewis Green. Takes the throw quickly. Bedford look like they want to get on with it. Maybe stinging from the words of the manager Lee Bircham after Tuesday's defeat. Lovejoy's got the ball here on the edge of the area, fires it in, goes into the side netting, and Ware have a goal kick. And Bedford have started like a side that did get rather a strong talking to after Tuesday night. Yeah,
they have, absolutely. They look like they're wanting to make an early impression and right the wrongs from Tuesday night and from the last couple of games. And from the early signs of this one so far, it looks like they're ready to start winning again.
Fred Burbage from the goal away to our left. 7 clean sheets so far this season, Fred. And certainly Ware's recent success has been built on a really solid defence. They've only conceded 3 goals in the last 6 games. As David Soter heads the ball forward, Joe Dearman can't keep it down. Then it's volleyed in the air by Fernando Bell-Toxtel, and the ball goes out again for a throw-in to Bedford. They've had a bad run, but they've won 12 times away from home this season in 20 visits, and also they've only been beaten once away in the league, and that was probably the one you would least expect when they lost at Kempston, of course, as Jack Grosvenor wins the ball for Ware, deep inside his own half, brings in Mitch Hahn, who finds George Ironton. Chance for Ware to get a little bit of possession. George back to Mitch Hahn. Looks for Theo Afori on this near side. That one's sorted out though, and Liam Dolson in a tussle with Steph Giorgio. Liam still with the ball. Has to go backwards though, under pressure from Afori, and he's played it short, and Goal Mensah gets him out of trouble by nicking the ball away from John Clements. That could have been very costly indeed, as Echo Coker is there with Ryan Blake and plays the ball all the way back to Fred Burbage, whose clearance is sliced out of play and lands a couple of rows in front of us here in the stand at Watson Park. Our commentary position more or less on the halfway line, just a little bit inside the half, which is being defended by Bedford Town. It's their right fullback, Carl Connolly, former Leighton Town player, followed to Bedford with his manager Mark Bircham. That throw though is easily dealt with by Ware. Mitch Hahn, long ball, looking for Joe Dearman on that far side. Green watches it, floats over the top of his head. Joe Dearman on the edge of the area, goes for a run, tries to put it across. Green gets in the way, and Dudley should clear for Bedford, and in the end he hits it against Alex Woolman. It goes behind for a goal kick. Interesting 2 changes, Simon, from Saturday. Mitch Hahn, we think, has probably been brought in there for a bit more bite and a bit more experience in midfield.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, obviously we was discussing it, before the game, before we took our place, and I would think that's the thoughts of Paul. That's what seems to make a little bit of sense.
And the other change, John Clements brought in up front in place of Kieran Bishop, 2 prolific goal scorers at non-league football level, as Giorgio just polices the ball out of play in front of Liam Dolson. Connolly's ball will bring in the young 17-year-old Dudley. Plays it square, and Ware not aware of Green coming up. He fires a shot in, and all the way along the ground from Lewis Green, straight into the arms of the keeper, Fred Burbage. big contingent of fans, Bedford fans, behind Fred Bovage's goal away to our left-hand side. Long kick forward by the keeper. Mensah is first to win it. Brought down by Dudley. Plays it square. And long ball looking for Lobjoit, who's got the wrong side from a Ware perspective of David Sota. Sota managed to get back on terms. He tries to turn away from Alex Warman, but Alex does what he's done since he arrived here. And mops up very neatly indeed. The number 8 forward looking for John Clements, who of course knows all about Carl Mensah because two of them were teammates of Welling Garden City.
Yeah, of course they were, and I'm sure that's going to be an interesting battle for both of them. I mean, obviously, we've seen what Clemo can do here, and we know very well what Big Mensah can do as well.
Ryan Blake is robbed of the ball by David Sota. Where, of course, we'll remember him. He scored a hat-trick in that 7-1 at the New Erie. David Sota, long punted clearance, but all he gets is a little bit of territory. It's still going to be a throw-in to Bedford. Adley, Welling Garden City, Thames, Stopfold, Hartford, Kings Langley, Northley and AFC Dunstable, a list of teams where Bedford have gone away with 3 points on their travels. Let's say this run, though, just won one of their last 7 games, losing to teams they would not expect to lose to. With greatest respect to teams like Hadley and Kempston, and AFC Dunstable, of course, with their young side, have got themselves right in playoff contention after the 3-0 victory at the New Erie on Tuesday. Were helped a little bit by the fact that Jack Green got an early red card. But don't take anything away from their performance as Theo Afori goes up, but can't keep the ball in play, and it will go out for a throw-in to Bedford. Amongst the crowd here is Ware's club captain Lewis Rose. It was very nice to see Lewis here as we came in. Said we'd with his hospital treatment, he'd been listening to us in the hospital, which was nice to hear, and great to see him back, wasn't it, Simon?
Yeah. It's nice to see him. Nice to see that he was back down, training with the boys, and see him down here supporting the lads. And he was saying to us, wasn't he? He was keeping updated with us when we was doing the commentary on the Ware games, but there was times that he was a bit frustrated because they weren't, he couldn't listen to us on the games we weren't doing, and there was no updates on Twitter, and he was anxiously waiting to hear how they'd been getting on. Good captain understanding, isn't it, I think? Yeah,
absolutely. Can't be everywhere, unfortunately. Love to be Cologne today because we'd like to be at AFC Dunstable as well, but that's one of the things that there's only a 2-man team on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf. Although it will be 3 next year, but we'll tell you about that when a few changes occur in the summer. And of course, our gallant substitute Chris White, who's done such a good job for us as well through the season. There's got a little boy on the pitch here. It's just his challenge comes in from George Ironson, and Alex Collard goes skimming across the top of the turf. Takes a while to get up, but referee gives a free kick. In fact, it was Jack Green who was fouled. I mean, he's going to be Collard who's going to take the free kick. In fact, he's going to leave it to Mark Smith, very experienced goalkeeper. Originally came as a cover from Salisbury and stayed with Bedford ever since. Kick on that far side, shove on Alex Warman surely, and the referee. It's a little bit concerning there that the referee was right on that and he waited for his official to tell him that was a foul.
He was, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just, watching every decision he's making and thinking back to that red font you were saying about Pete, and I just hope, that he's strong enough and able enough to deal with what potentially might happen here today.
Yeah, I think Mitch Holm was just having a little bit of a word, saying exactly what we were thinking there. But Fred Burbage will take the kick as rain starts to fall here at Watson Park. George Ironson loses control of the ball and it's thumped forward by Connolly. Echo Coker gets it back onto the head of Dudley. Liam Dalton brings it down and is beaten to it by Alex Warman, and George Ironton's got it again. chips it down the line, looking for John Clements. Collard's in the way. Connolly's given it away, and Clemo will have it now, right-hand side of the box. Chance to tee up the cross. Got Collard in front of him, leaves it for George Irons, and low cross. Here comes Mitch Hahn's shot. It's batted away by Carl Mensah and finally cleared by Lewis Green towards the halfway line. David Sota's having a battle with Lobjoy, which he wins, and in the end the ball is thumped by Jack Green off of Mitch Hahn. And still in play as Joe Dearman puts it forward. Untidy passage of play. Forward by Jack Green, looking for Lobjoy, who's once again down that right-hand side, but this time the ever-dependable Jack Grosvenor is there and manages to wrestle himself out of a bit of trouble at the expense of a throw-in to Bedford, which Carl Mensah will go across to take. 10 minutes gone here at Watson Park, 90 minutes live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. Ware against Bedford Town. We really are getting towards the business end of things here. Well, this will be interesting because we're having threatened with long throws all season. We're on the end of one here from Carl Mensah. As the ball's headed on by Collard, but Fred Burbage read it well and comes out and collects. Restarts quickly, looking for the run of Theo Ofori. Connolly lets it bounce, and it'll bounce into the arms of Smith on one occasion, where, of course, have got the long throw back, of course, with Mitch Hahn in the team today.
Yeah, I mean, Mitch is perfectly capable of taking a long throw, not quite as long as Darian's, I know, but I mean, I was saying that, I was listening to a couple of our friends from one of our groups on Facebook, and Felix though, and Darian was obviously, they was playing against Cheshunt, and Darian featured for Cheshunt, and they was amazed and surprised by his long throw as well when I was listening to them on Tuesday night. Yeah,
he of course has gone to Cheshunt, up a step. We wish him luck in his career there. A long kick forward by Fred Burbage is allowed to bounce out for a goal kick to Bedford. And much in front of either goal so far. Expected to be tight between these two teams. Bedford's away record, they played 20 away, they've only conceded 15 goals in that. And they had a remarkable record at the beginning of the season. It took them till October to concede their first goal in the opening 45 minutes of a game, which is some record. And still they've outscored opponents 31-8 in the opening 45 minutes. So the feeling, I suppose, in a stats-obsessed football world these days is if you keep them quiet in the first half, you've got half a chance. As Fred Burbage thumps the ball forward, Collard will bring it down, but in the end just punts it out of play on that far side. In fact, it does remain in, and Lobjoy's got it down from David Sota. Carl Mensah this time rather slices the ball forward. Blake there with Alex Warman. George Ironson heads it towards the centre circle. Here comes Jack Green. His ball on this near side is too heavy for Liam Dawson. And Fred Burbage will collect the ball and prepare to take a goal kick. Easter is looming, of course, for Ware. It means a trip to Thame on Easter Saturday, and then the visit of Kings Langley here on Easter Monday. Bedford have got 3 games in the next week. They're at home to Thame on Tuesday, at home to Waltham Abbey on Easter Saturday, and then a massive game which could well decide the championship away to Biggleswade Town on Easter Monday. Fred Burbage's kick skims off the head of Carl Mensah and sets Theo Ofori going down this right-hand side. Theo trying to go outside Connolly, but he showed too much strength, manages to win the ball. Liam Dawson short, he's given it away again, as Alex Warman can't pick it up though, and coming forward will be Fernando Bell-Toxtell. Toxtell's ball on that far side for Ryan Blake. Blake coming inside, the shot is pushed through, and it's Lobjoy who's going to put it in the back of the net. Ware caught out, and Leon Lobjoy made the run on the edge of the area. They didn't pick him up, and Bedford go in front with 13 minutes gone.
Yeah, I mean, he's come through well there, hasn't he? And he spotted the ball, he spotted the run, and he's come in, he slips in behind the Ware defence and just about beat Fred to it. I think Fred looked like Fred was going to get down to it and get there, but Lovejoy just about managed to get in front of him and poke the ball into the net to give the Bedford the lead. Well,
Leon Lovejoy puts Bedford Town in front hands on the hips and shaking heads from Ware players. 13 minutes gone, and statistic is that Bedford have lost twice when they've scored the first goal in a game. And Ware's record? Yeah, you've guessed it. They've won twice when they've conceded first goal in a game. So only the fourth one that Ware have conceded in 6 games and 13 minutes, but could be a vital one. Steph Giorgio forward, looking for Theo Ofori. If Bedford did have any nerves after Tuesday's defeat, that surely will have settled them. As Carl Menzer lets the ball go though, and Lewis Green has to take evasive action in front of Joe Dearman. Here's Lovejoy again down that right hand side, where he has made life difficult for David Sota. Didn't get the ball clear, and in the end it's foul by Alex Warman on Bell Toxtall, and a free kick to Bedford on that far side of the field. Well, talking about the record in the first half, 32nd first half goal that Bedford Town have scored this season. Referee just a word with a couple of Ware players over there. Free kick is going to be taken by Kyle Connolly with the right boot. Carl Menzer has come up from the back. Carl Menzer against Echo Coker. That would be an interesting duel in the air. But, free kick, Connolly, both arms in the air. Fred Burbage should get this and does quite comfortably. Looks up once again, he aims on this side for Theo Ofori, and this time he's found him. The cavalry are late in arriving, but Theo's going into the box here. Still Theo Ofori. Theo Ofori across the box. George Ironton, takes a deflection, goes over for a corner. Otherwise Smith would certainly have had some work to do.
Yeah, he would have done, wouldn't he? I mean, see George coming in, we know the sort of power he can get on those shots, and the direction as well. And it was a good shot, but unfortunately blocked. A good defensive block as well to give Ware their first corner.
Joe Dearman will take the corner on this near side. Grosvenor and Coker are both up from the back. There's only Lovejoy as forward. Dearman's corner, headed over the top again. This time, I think it was Carl Menzer who got in there. It could well have been Fernando Bell Toxtall, but the net result is a corner from the far side. This time it will be George Ironton who will be looking to curl it in with the right foot. Alex Warman's got inside the 6-yard box, as has Echo Coker. Make life difficult for Mark Smith. John Clements just pulled out the edge of the area there as it goes to the far post, goes over the top of everybody and disappointingly behind for a goal kick. So we're trailing by a 1-0. So I said Welwyn Garden City at AFC Dunstable. It's the other really big game in the division. Hadley against Hertford, of course. We'll be keeping an eye on that one. And Biggleswade Town against Kings Langley. Waltham Abbey against Stopfold. Aylesbury against North-Lee. Cirencester, who really need to get their season back on track, against Leighton Town. Kidlington against Kempston. And Biggleswade against Tame. So a full programme which could have real ramifications at both ends of the table, as the ball is threaded out to Ryan Blake on that far side of the field. Thumps it against David Sota, and that will go out. It won't go out. Ball's kept in again. It will come back as far as Lewis Green, who puts it inside. Lewis Green will get it back, fires it across the box and straight into the arms of Fred Burbage on the edge of his 6-yard box. Ryan Blake goes immediately to close the keeper down, so he can't make another quick delivery out, so he bowls it out to Jack Grosvenor. Puts it across the area again for Echo Coker. Chips it forward, looking for John Clements. Is over his head. Wasn't too sure a header from Carl Menzer though, and Ware have got it back with George Ironton, who's fouled by the youngster Henry Dudley. And Ware will have a free kick midway inside the Bedford half. Mitch Hahn and George Ironton there. Jack Grosvenor strolls up from the back to be joined by his central defensive partner, Echo Coker. So it looks like George Ironton's going to get the responsibility. Plays it along the ground to John Clements on the edge of the area. Clements, though, is beaten to it by Dudley. It was a decent challenge, and it's all going to come to nothing as Lewis Green puts it forward for Ryan Blake, and the ball just came off of David Sota's heel, which delayed Blake's progress. Still got the ball down that right-hand side. Looks to pull it across the box. He does, and Jack Grosvenor, and it's hit in from the edge of the area. Liam Lovejoy makes Ware pay. It was poor defending. It wasn't cleared. And from the edge of the area all the way along the ground into the bottom left-hand corner. And Bedford lead here 2-0 with 19 minutes gone.
Yeah, I mean, that's really got the Bedford players and the Bedford crowd up, hasn't it? I mean, we said early on, they looked like they was really up for it. And you can tell, sort of from the reactions that they were, And the thing is, I mean, the Ware players, they're standing around. There's a couple of players, moaning at each other and giving each other their thoughts, and I wonder if their heads have dropped already.
Well, Jack Grosvenor hasn't made many errors since he came here, but he made one there. It was a poor clearance. Lovejoy, well, he still had some work to do, but he did it very effectively indeed. Former Leighton Town player in his second spell with Bedford, and it's Ware 0. Bedford Town 2, Lovejoy 7 for the season. Ware need to strike back, and they need to strike back quickly. So the ball's going to run out of play in front of Joe Dearman on that far side. It'll be interesting for the thoughts of Paul Halsey and Joe O'Brien inside that Ware dugout. At the moment, can't see anybody there. They're sitting down. The last thing they wanted was to be 2-0 down against a team with the kind of record that Bedford have had. Yes, they've only won one of their last 7, but bad run of form doesn't make you a bad team. Long kick forward, Coker's beaten to it. Liam Dalton will bring it down. He's surrounded by blue shirts, and in the end it's Echo Coker's outstretched leg that puts the ball out for a throw-in to Bedford. Bedford player down. Looks like Ryan Blake has taken a bit of a thump inside the centre circle. Jazzy Dolby, who's the trainer, physio, magic sponge person, etc., is not going to be required because Blake gets back up a little gingerly. But it's going to be a throw in the Bedford far side down by the corner flag, which Carl Menser will take. Last thing we want to do is concede another one, because that really would be quite an early end to proceedings on the non-league day. If they can get a goal back, then they'll still have an opportunity in this game. Carl Menser will take the throw in, leaning back on the fence. Menser's throw comes in and lands over the top of everybody. Dudley puts it back towards the area, but it's volleyed clear by George Ironton, and Jack Green just a long lob forward into the arms of Fred Burbage. I mean, 20 minutes gone, 2-0 down. Don't have to push the panic button, but haven't really created much up top so far.
No, it's not.
I say that, and Alex Warman's given the ball away to Ryan Blake, who's missed an opportunity to make it 3-0. And there are players that, talk to Jack Grosvenor not making a mistake. I don't think Alex Warman's made one till then. But Ware certainly need suddenly to take a breather and use all the experience of players like John Clements and Mitch Hahn, because at the moment they look shaky as here we go, as Theo Afori got the ball away from the goalkeeper Smith. He thought it had gone out, it hasn't, and suddenly Bedford were in trouble and got out of trouble by Jack Green.
Well, I mean, I don't know how Jack Green saved them there. I mean, great work from Theo, but I do feel, I mean, there was a couple of players running into the box, and I do feel he could have just slotted it into the box, and could have been an easy chance for Ware.
The corner's going to be taken on this near side by Joe Dearman. Decent corner. Grosvenor goes up. It's bundled in to the back of the net. I don't know who's going to claim it. Could be Jack Grosvenor. It could be Alex Warman. It could also be Echo Coker. Take your pick out of 3 there. But Ware are right back in it.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like they're determined now. They've got that goal. They've grabbed the ball. They're sort of like geeing each other up. You're watching. You've got George Ironton there. He's geeing everyone up. Mitch is getting them the same. Clemmer will be doing the same as well, as I can just see him doing. And that's got them right back in this game, and that's got their backs up now.
Well, pick 1 out of 3 for who put it in the back of the net. It was difficult to tell, but the important thing is they did put it in the back of the net, and suddenly game back on here at Watson Park, where 1, Bedford Town 2, and Bedford found wanting at a corner very much. But Liam Dawson's got the ball here, left-hand side. We know how dangerous he can be. Good defending by Steph Giorgio, though. Suddenly, as Simon said, Ware have got their tails up. Here's Theo Afori. Theo finds George Ironton inside the centre circle. Joe Dearman's wide on the left-hand side. Steph Giorgio's made his way up on the right. It's Joe Dearman who gets the ball. It's a poor ball by George in the end. And Joe couldn't keep it in. It's going to be a throw in. Well, they've given it to Alex Warman. So it's his second of the season. And I'm not going to argue with him.
No, I'm not. I mean, whether it was him or not, I don't know. I don't know whether the players will be arguing amongst themselves. But as you say, the Tannoys announced it as Alex Warman's goal. So for now, we'll give it to him.
Yeah, Jack Grosvenor certainly helped it forward. Echo Goga was involved as well, but could well have been Alex who put the ball into the back of the net. Corner's a good time for Alex Warman. His other Ware goal, of course, came direct from a corner. As Fred Burbidge has the ball away to our left-hand side. Kick forward, lands over everybody's head, and can't find Theo Afori on this near side. But do get the feeling if Ware can get these wide players involved in the game, then they could well profit from it.
Well, it does seem to be the idea, doesn't it? I mean, they do seem to be trying to work things down the right-hand side, a lot, especially with Theo down there. And, we know the pace he's got, and obviously he showed that a few minutes ago when he raced down the line and turned around the goalkeeper. And maybe that's one of the ways that we're going to exploit this Bedford defence.
Ball on this near side with Liam Dawson. Steph Giorgio sticking to him like glue. Liam's ball inside, searches out Henry Dudley. Dudley back towards our halfway line for Connolly. Back on the halfway line for Collard. Plays it to his right for Carl Mensah. Mensah's long drive ball picks out Liam Dawson on this near side. His ball for Ryan Blake, but Echo Coker just shepherds him out of play. And Fred Burbidge comes up with the ball for Ware. So, always the difference a goal makes. Ware looked very dispirited when that goal went in after 19 minutes of the game. Look a lot brighter now after they've got themselves on the score sheet. It's been a good start here if you're a neutral on non-league day. Certainly if you've seen the first 27-28 minutes of this, you'll be very impressed.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good show they're putting on for any people that might not have been down here before, and I've heard it's National Non-League Day and thought they'd come down to Watson Park and either support Ware or support Bedford, and it's a good showing, and hopefully if there are some people that are here in that capacity, then it will entice them back.
Yeah, and support the non-league family as Carl Mensah brings the ball forward for Bedford. Down that line for Lovejoy again, but this time David Sota's got himself in a good position, and the ball is just shepherded out of play for a goal kick. Sota gets an appreciative round of applause from the Ware crowd. Big crowd here. Biggest, of course, was the game at Christmas against Hertford. It won't get anywhere near that one, but could well be the second or third best gate of the season. At the ground where Ware have done extremely well. They've got the best home record in the division. A long kick forwards onto the head of Carl Mensah. Only North Lee early on. Aylesbury in a really strange game, and current leaders Biggleswade Town have won here as referee takes a little bit of a while to make a decision over Alex Warman's challenge on Henry Dudley, and then suddenly decides he wants Jazzy Dolby out here and wants a little bit of a word. Well, he's surrounded by players, and I don't know. You made a decision or you don't. You don't then react to how the team react to the challenge, do you?
No. I mean, he has paused before making a choice and decided to blow his whistle, and it's. Yeah, you don't wait to see what happens, and I mean it's not like he was trying to play advantage, because there wasn't any way they would have benefited from that. So it's a decision that he should have made straight away, and not sort of like, as you say, reacted to the players there. And I mean, Pete, I think we've got a possible answer as to why he got a red front.
Yeah, I think so. Unfortunately, he's still having a debate with Alex Collard this time. Alex Warman's not seen a card, so there's no possibility of that. Henry Dudley is still down, receiving treatment, and the referee surrounded. Let's hope it doesn't get niggly, but sometimes has between these two teams. I remember last time they met down here, of course, Bedford went away winners 3-2 with a goal in the very last minute. And things did get just a little bit heated. Let's hope that it doesn't follow that course this afternoon. Ware's last win here, by the way, against Bedford, you have to go back to March 2016, which is not as horrendous as it sounds, because they haven't met that often. And a player we know well, Darnell Winter, was in a Ware shirt that day, and he scored the winner. So Henry Dudley will come off to go back on. And Bedford will have themselves a free kick. Rain's gone away, the sun's come out. It's one of those 4 seasons in one day type of days here at Wadsham Park. So kick's going to be taken by Kyle Connolly. The right full-back is going to take it with his left foot though. Mensa's come up from the back. He's on the edge of the area. He's driven across towards him. Mensa does get up and headed out by Steph Giorgio as far as Theo Ofori, who tries to find Joe Dearman, gives it away to Mensa. But Mensa's ball is straight at David Sota, and Ware will get it back now down that right wing with George Ironton. Turns inside, finds Mitch Hahn inside the centre circle. Mitch's ball lobbed over the top of Connolly is a good one if Theo Ofori can keep it in, but he can't, and it will go out for a throw-in.
I mean that was a good ball, but just while we had the injury, I saw someone in a coat talking to a couple of players. He was talking to Mitch, Alex, and George, and saw him turn around and come back in the stand, and it was Paul Halsey, and he's up in the corner of the stand there.
Oh my word! Well, yeah, he is as well, isn't he? Well,
I mean, he has said to us before, hasn't he, that sometimes he does like to. I mean, it's not like he's on a ban or anything like that. As far as well, he can't be if he's down there speaking to the players. But he has said before that sometimes he likes to sit up here, and he feels he gets a better view here. So maybe that's the thoughts of this in the first half at least.
Yeah, we've had that discussion, haven't we? I think we get the best view in the house wherever we go, and some managers might well benefit from that. So Bulls obviously taking that opportunity at the moment. And certainly, well, there's always no shortage of shouting on the bench with Joe O'Brien down there anyway. So this ball goes out for a throw in to Bedford on that far side of the field. We had 32 minutes of very entertaining first half here at Wadsham Park on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. And we stand at Ware 1, Bedford Town 2. Bedford coming forward with Liam Dawson, who tries to keep the ball in on this near side. Goes round Steph Giorgio, pulls the ball across the box, headed out by Alex Warman, and Joe Dearman should get there ahead of Lobjoy, who still manages to snaffle the ball away for Bedford though, and Liam Dawson gets it back, hit it straight at Alex Warman. And Connolly has it on this near side, chips it forward for the run of Brian Blake. Offside flag up far side of the field, and there'll be a free kick to Ware, which Fred Burbidge will take from inside his own area. So it's been entertaining stuff so far from Ware, who went 2 down early, but I seem to remember, does it serve me right that Ware in that game that Bedford won 3-2, Ware were up 2-0 fairly early as well in that one,
I think they were, yes.
I seem to remember. And Bedford came back into the game, so history could well repeat itself. Well, we've got to get another goal and not give the ball away as they did there to Dudley, but his pass is a poor one, and Fred Burbidge will come out and collect it on the edge of his area. Jack Grosvenor stretches those legs and starts to come forward, finds Joe Dearman on the halfway line. Further down the line, David Soter went looking for George Ironton, but couldn't keep it in play. So it will be a throw in to Bedford Town. We'll keep you up to date with what's happening elsewhere in the division during the half-time sequence, and of course give you the two golden boots, which seem to, certainly in the men's golden boots, seem to have been sewn up really, with Eben Mabona continuing to knock them in for Hatfield Town. Another late whistle from the referee gives Bedford a free kick on the halfway line, which will be left to Big Carl Menser to take. I'd find he went in and out of Welwyn Garden City like a pinball. Carl Menser had 5 spells there and 55 appearances. In fact, he's going to leave it to Lewis Green, who's going to
only 55 appearances for Welwyn Garden.
Yep.
Wow.
5
it
times.
Felt like a lot more than that.
Chipped forward by Lewis Green, and Oka does well to head it out towards Theo Rafori on this right hand side. Theo tries to go around Dudley but can't do so, and the ball goes out for a throw in. Steph Giorgio will collect the ball and prepare to take it. Carl Menser, of course, spent some time at Walthamstow as well when our friend Nicky Ironton was manager there. I don't know if Nicky's in the house actually. I haven't seen him this afternoon. Usually about. As the ball finds its way to Collard, who's ball forward. Oka beats Ryan Blake to it, and then picks out Joe Dearman on the halfway line. Great control by Joe, brings it down. He's surrounded by yellow shirts, so he's going to do well to make anything out of it, and he still does. He's taken Lewis Green all the way down, and George Ironton goes to help him out. Good work by Joe Dearman as well. Ware a corner on that far side. And, excellent bit of skill. I mean, he's such a quality footballer, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, fantastic. I mean, that was great work from him just there on that left-hand side. And he is such a talented footballer. He really is, and you can see why Paul wants him in his side.
Well, last corner caused Bedford a problem. Let's see what Alex Warman can do with this one from the side where he scored from, of course, from a corner. So we'll. Already they're jostling about in the area. Referee wants it retaken. It'll go back to Alex Warman. Bedford have pulled everybody back bar Liam Dawson, and he's just outside the 18-yard box. Where I've got everyone pushed forward. Steph Giorgio is furthest man back inside the centre circle. Alex Warman's corner to be taken on that far side. Goes for near Bo. Smith punches just enough to take it to the edge of the area where Joe Dearman he tried to let it run out, but in the end it didn't. But Steph Giorgio will pick it up. Long, a high ball forward, backpedaling Mark Smith. It's a little bit of bird from the crowd as he collects it. Can tell you we've got a score coming in. AFC Dunstable 1 at Welwyn Garden City 0. So not good news coming from Bedfordshire. The two Bedfordshire teams in front, with Bedford Town, of course, leading here by 2-1. Welwyn Garden City started off in 7th, but they got plenty of games in hand on everybody in front of them. AFC Dunstable were 4th, though, this morning, and if that one continues, then they will take themselves above Ware, and can tell you Hadley lead Hertford by 2-0, and not a particularly good day for our two teams there. So far, all three behind, but plenty of time still to go. Kick forward by Fred Burbage, headed on well by John Clements, but it's going to bounce for Smith before Joe Dearman can get a hold of it. And Lewis Green will collect the ball and feed it out on that far side. Down the line, as the ball's put across the Ware box and out once again by Jack Grosvenor. This time George Ironton's brought down by Lobjoy, but referee gives nothing, and Liam Dalton has it on this near side, chips it across, and Fred Burbage will collect it quite comfortably. And Fred will just take his time in trying to clear the ball. There's 7 minutes to go before the break here 90 minutes live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. We're trailing by 2-1 against Bedford. George Ironton brings in Theo Ofori, who's fouled this time by Connolly. Referee gets an ironic round of applause from the Ware fans. It's going to be George Ironton who's going to take the free kick. Bedford went into a 2-goal lead inside 19 minutes, but it's been a lot more even since then. Ware's goal coming from Alex Warman after 25 minutes. And a chance here perhaps to get themselves back on level terms. George Ironton will take the kick. He's about 35 yards out, just to the right hand side. Coker has come up the back, so has Jack Grosvenor. There's a one-man wall in Ryan Blake in George's way. And George will chip it across, looks for Grosvenor, but it's Collard who gets there first. And it should be cleared by Dudley and then Connolly on the edge of his own area. Steph Giorgio can just put out a leg and deflect the ball out for a throw into Bedford to rob Liam Dawson the chance of coming forward. Ryan Blake takes the throw. Lovejoy goes down under challenge, and then the ball goes out into the sideline, and Ware win themselves a throw in, which Steph Giorgio will be the man to take it for Ware. Back to his goalkeeper, Fred Burbidge. Fred's ball is rather scuffed. Theo Ofori couldn't keep it in play. Well, Connolly got there ahead of him, and the ball's going to bounce all the way back to Fred on the penalty spot. Bowls it out this time left-hand side for David Sota. Further along the line for Joe Dearman. He's got Green behind him, so he has to turn backwards and put it back into his own half for Jack Grosvenor. Onto the halfway line again, this time for David Sota. Jack gets it back, plays it square to Theo Coker. Joe O'Brien comes out and yells and points towards the Bedford goal. Long ball forward this time from Coker. Lewis Green heads it up in the air, and in the end it's Lovejoy's ball forward, which Echo Coker reads and finds Jack Grosvenor. Back by Alex Warman to David Sota. Joe Dearman's got it on the halfway line, puts it forward, and John Clements trying to get the other side of Carl Mensah, but Mensah shows plenty of strength. George Ironton goes in well on Jack Green though, and the ball goes out for a throw in to Bedford. A trio of former Welwyn Garden City players all played in the same team there, of course. George Ironton, John Clements and Carl Mensah. It's going to be a throw in which Lewis Green will take, but not until Leon Lovejoy is just down on his haunches, but has managed to get back up. Referee goes to check on him and then sends Lewis Green backwards a couple of paces before he takes the throw in on the right hand side. Throw in onto the head of Jack Green, who's got George Ironton all over him, and unfairly so, says the referee. So Bedford will get themselves a free kick. Kick's taken too quickly for the referee's liking and goes out of play on this near side of the field. So Mark Smith, the goalkeeper, as well as Salisbury, who's at Brentford, who's at Woking. He's a very experienced keeper at this level. He'll take the free kick midway inside his own half, right hand side of the field, as we edge towards the break here at Watson Park, with Bedford down leading Ware by 2-1. Mark Smith will take it with the right boot, taking his time about it. Hits it now towards this near side, and Ryan Blake heads it down for Liam Dawson. Dawson returns the compliment, finds Blake on this near side. Theo Ofori does a good job to wrestle the ball away from him. Long clearance forwards, and John Clements will try and keep it in with Mensah coming towards him, and does manage to keep it in. Carl Mensah just stops it from going out to be a corner, but a lot of players might have given that one up for loss, but not John Clements, as it's hoofed forward by Mitch Hahn. Mensah brings it down, gives it away to George Ironton, then wins it back again, thumps it against Steph Giorgio, and it goes out for a throw-in. And that's really what John Clements is all about, isn't it? A lot of players would have just given that up.
Yeah. I mean, he's chased it down, as you say. He's not giving up on the ball, and made sure that it works out well for Ware still.
The throw in off the head of Ryan Blake, up in the air by Echo Coker. Mensah should deal with it, and does. Heads it down inside the centre circle. Alex Warman wins the ball for David Sota, who gets it back from Jack Grosvenor. Sota turns inside Lobjoy and is then brought down and wins Ware a free kick. All got a bit untidy in the last couple of minutes. Some free kicks. We're in the last minute of the half here at Watson Park. Can't imagine there's too much time to be added on by our referee, Mr. Karam. It's a free kick to Ware on the halfway line, left hand side of the field, which Jack Grosvenor will take. Chips it forward, looking for a run of Clements on this near side. Mensah ducks, ball goes with one bounce into the arms of Mark Smith. And note that Paul Halsey spent the whole half in the top row of the stand here, getting a perspective which will give him a chance to plot what he needs to do in the second half. Giorgio and Dawson are battling again. Giorgio can't keep the ball in play, and it's going to be a throw-in, I think, although I think the referee might give him the free kick here. We'll see where the ball's spotted. Connolly is going to take it, so I can only imagine it's a little bit difficult to see down that sideline beyond the dugouts here at Watson Park, but it is going to be Kyle Connolly who's got the ball, and the referee is saying actually it's a throw-in. Even Connolly didn't know, so I'm glad I'm not the only one. He's a bit poor when the players don't know what's going on, really, isn't it?
Well, I mean, you just need that communication from the ref, don't you? It's not really difficult.
Carl Mensah then will take the throw-in first half added time here at Watson Park. Goes all the way across, headed down by Lobjoy, who of course is on a hat-trick, but straight into the arms of Fred Burbidge. A very grateful Fred Burbidge, all in his lime green kit. Fred takes his time, and time enough for the referee to sound an end to the first half here at Watson Park, with Bedford Town leading by 2-1. 2 early goals inside the opening 20 minutes by Liam Lobjoy. First one where Ware didn't pick him up in the area, and the second one a poor clearance by Jack Grosvenor, which he pounced upon to bury past Fred Burbidge from 20 yards out. Ware, though, got hope in the 25th minute. Corner came across and it was bundled into the back of the net, with Alex Warman getting the last touch, which makes the half-time score Ware 1, Bedford Town 2.
Well, I mean, as we were saying, an entertaining game so far, and obviously, Bedford taking that 2-0 lead. But, Ware got back into it. They got that goal from Alex Warman, and Clemo's been chasing a couple of chances. Theo's had a couple of chances as well. So I'm sure, obviously, Paul will have his thoughts on what he's seen up in the stands here in the first half, and him and Joe will be telling the players what they think and what they need to do in the second half to get back into the game.
Well, all to play for in the second half of the game. That statistic that I was mentioning earlier, of course, Bedford have outscored opponents 33-9 in the first half of games, but in the second half it's 23-21. So it has proved that they've been much more of a first half team than a second half team, and continue on that theme. Ware have scored almost twice as many goals in the second half of games this season than they have in the first. So make of that what you will. It should be a very entertaining second 45 minutes here at Watson Park. Let's bring you up to date with the 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Golden Boot, which has Evan Mabona of Hatfield Town still well out in front. 28 goals for him so far this season. Jamie Marshall's having a good season for Hartford Heath as well. He's got 20. Kamani Collington of Hatfield Town has got 19. And then we've got no fewer than 5 players on 15 goals. Louis Debenham for Westmill, who've got a good big game today in the semi-final of the Norman Appleby Trophy at Chipperfield Corinthians. We wish them luck and hope they're getting on well in that one. Adam Bayliss of Hartford Heath has got 15. Gendel Giamphy, who got one in the week for AFC Welling, to take his total to 15. And then 2 players from Step 4 that we watch regularly, Brian Garzon of Hartford and Brad Watkins of Welling Garden City, have both got 15 goals apiece. So that's our golden boot. Of course, Liam Dawson, had he not have gone to Bedford, would have been in the running there. He's got 24 all told this season, but of course no longer involved in the golden boot for 90 minutes live country. A little bit of news in the week, by the way, in case you might notice it. Stockfold lost their manager in the week. Brett Donnelly was snapped up to go a division above, where he is now the new manager of Hitchin. And the other thing to bear in mind, of course, is that we have a big hoo-ha about it in Premier Football and EFL football, don't we? But transfer deadline day for this neck of the woods in non-league football is 31st of March. And can make no further moves after the 31st of March, which means, of course, what they do is you put in a 7-day approach for a player, then you can sign him. Well, that means if you want to sign one by the 31st of March, then it's the 24th of March, which suddenly becomes transfer deadline day in that respect. So interesting to see what happens before tomorrow's out, as to teams making moves to try and strengthen their squads to get themselves in with a chance of promotion, or of course in with a hope of saving themselves from the drop. Where are we going to be next week? Well, we've got an Easter double next week, 90 minutes live in association with Easy Shelf, Easter Saturday and Easter Monday. Easter Saturday we're going to be at the Pexhurst, which another massive game, Welling Garden City against current league leaders at Biggleswade Town. And then on Easter Monday we're going to be back here at Watson Park, where Ware will face Kings Langley. And Kings Langley, one of the few teams that we have not seen in this division, because once we've seen Kings Langley, Aylesbury United are the only team in the division that we haven't seen at least once this season. So do join us for those two live from 2:55. Pexhurst, Welling Garden City against Biggleswade Town on Saturday, and Watson Park Ware against Kings Langley next Monday, which is of course Easter Monday. The scores are coming in from elsewhere in the division, so let's see what we've got.
Yeah, scores are in. So obviously we brought a couple of updates to you. So AFC Dunstable versus Welling Garden City, that is still 1-0 as we said before. Northley, they are visiting Aylesbury, and Aylesbury are 1-0 up in that game. It's level between Biggleswade and Tame United at 0-0. And Biggleswade Town, they're also at home, obviously the league leaders. They are 2-0 up on Kings Langley. Goals between Cirencester Town and Leighton Town, and it's level for them at 2-2. We brought you the score between Hadley and Hertford Town. That was 2-0. It's now 3-0 at half time to Hadley, so not good for Hertford there. Kempston Rovers, they've just gone 1-0 up on Kidlington, and the game between Waltham Abbey and Stockfold is 1-1.
Well, there's some interest here, particularly at the bottom of the table there, because with Aylesbury winning and Kempston one up at Kidlington, that puts Kidlington in real trouble at the bottom end of the table. Tame getting a point at the moment at Biggleswade. Disappointing for Hertford, I've got to say. You would have thought that they would have been able to get something in that trip to Hadley, but obviously a real mountain to climb for Ben Hurd and his team in the second half of that one. But whatever happens, I mean, they have had a great season, and certainly Ben's best season involved at Hertford Town, without shadow of a doubt. So Biggleswade Town, of course, have been the team that have really picked up a bit of form, and they are doing the job so far at the top of the table. In fact, I've got top of the table at the moment. We'll read Biggleswade on top with 56, Bedford Town in second with 54, AFC Dunstable will go in the third with 48, Waltham Abbey will be fourth with 46, and Ware will be fifth with 46. So at the moment, that is the live table in Southern League Division 1 Central. Welwyn Garden City at the moment will stay in 7th place with 41 points. So that's interesting. Well, we gave the men's golden boots. What about the women's game?
Well, women's hasn't changed. It's not changed for a couple of weeks now. There was no fixtures at all last weekend. So I'll tell you the standings, and Paige Price, she still leads the way from St Margaret's Street on 24. She's got an 8-goal lead over Laura Cousins from Sherrards Wood, who is on 16. Got a duo of Watson Park players, Sophie Vale on 15 and Christina Connell on 12. Jess Duff from Bury Rangers, she is on 11, as is Claire Cranfield from Sherrards Wood. And while we're on the subject of women's football, I will say congratulations to Hertford Town's under-14s Rio side. They played Hitchin Bells this morning in the Hearts County Cup over at I think it was over at the county ground over in Letchworth, and they won 3-1. So well done to them.
Well done to the girls there. It was indeed, because there was a tweet put out by the Hearts FA preparing for our first cup final of the season, which obviously that was. Excuse me, chewing a Kit Kat. You got it.
That's all right.
It's what us commentators have to do to keep going. Football coming up this week on Tuesday. Welwyn Garden City on another game. They've got Leighton Town. That's a big game for them as well. Southern League Division 1 Central out of Hexhurst with a 7:45 kick-off. Big game for Hertford as well. They're at St Albans in our Senior Cup semi-final. And the winners will play Berkhamsted at a date yet to be determined. There's football on Wednesday as well. Thurlow Nunn Division 1 South, St Margaret's Bury go to Tower Hamlets. And also in the Hearts Senior County League Premier Division, Cockfosters reserves against Hertford Heath. And if you remember a couple of weeks back, I looked at the games teams have still got to play, and Cockfosters were the worst off in most of non-league football, because they play a 34-game season. And Cockfosters, would you believe, 2 weeks ago, Cockfosters reserves still had 17 games left to play, which is half their season.
That's madness, isn't it? I mean, you think sort of like 7.5, 8 months into the season, and they've only played 17 games, and we've only got a month and a little bit, isn't it, left, and they've still got to play 17 games. I mean, that's some games. They'll be playing sort of 3-4 times a week, wouldn't they? Every week. Yeah,
well, interestingly, we spoke to Mark Weatherston last week, and he said probably they're going to have to play Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, 1 week anyway, just to get things in.
Yeah, it's madness. It really is, and obviously, we've had a bad winter. A lot of games called off, and with the way the weather's been, but. You've got to think of the players in these situations, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's everybody as well, I guess. It's the players, of course, but we know that non-league football on non-league day is kept going by a bunch of amazing volunteers, and we've got to take all those into account as well. Bedford coming out a little bit early here. I don't know whether that's psychological or whatever. We're following them out. I did a quick bit of statistics, which I won't bore you with all the way through, but looking at what teams have got left to play and their records at home and away, and I did this thing a couple of weeks ago when we had a little bit of a prediction what the top 5 would look like based on if things continue as they are. And that top 5 with a Biggleswade Town top, Bedford second, Welwyn Garden City third, AFC Dunstable fourth and Ware fifth. And the slight irony of that, of course, is that would end up with play-off semi-finals of Bedford against Ware and Welwyn Garden City against AFC Dunstable, which are 2 of the fixtures, of course, that are happening today.
Yeah. I mean, it's rather ironic, isn't it? That it's fallen that way today of all days. But and hopefully, it'd be great for us. Well, it's so great for us having 2 sides in the playoffs. We'll have to split ourselves in 2 again and be at 2 places at the same time, if that's the case.
Cloning football commentators. Substitution there will be made by Bedford. Younger Henry Dudley, who took that knock in the first half, obviously hasn't recovered from it. And Adam Martin is going to be coming on for Bedford. So the first change by either manager. Martin's going to come on wearing the number 15 shirt. Where, as you were in the first half, Fred Burbage in goal. Back 4 of Steph Giorgio and David Sota as the fullbacks, Jack Grosvenor and Akko Goga as 2 centre-backs, George Irons and Mitch Hahn and Alex Warman in midfield, and a front 3 of Joe Dearman, John Clements and Theo Afori. Mitch Hahn just having a little bit of word with Paul Halsey, who's come down now. Substitution about to be made by Bedford. They've got Mark Smith in goal, Carl Connolly, Lewis Green, Carl Mensa, Alex Collard, Fernando Bell Toxtett, Ryan Blake, Jack Green, Liam Dawson, Leon Lobjoy and now Adam Martin as their line-up in this second half. Bedford Town leading by 2-1 here on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. Just about to get the second half underway in now bright sunshine at Watson Park. Blue skies, not a cloud in the sky. And hopefully the second half will give us as much entertainment as we had in the first. But perhaps just, if you'll forgive us, anybody listening from Bedford, and we know we have listeners from Bedford when your team are here, we of course would like a little bit of a change in the scoreline. But let's see what we get. The referee has checked with both his assistants, and away we go with Bedford kicking from left to right here at Watson Park. Long ball immediately forward onto the head of Jack Grosvenor. Hoofed forward by Mitch Hahn, headed on well by John Clements. Here's Theo Afori going down the right hand side. Clements in the area, George Ironton arriving, and Theo's shot is easily saved by Mark Smith, diving away to his left hand side. But immediate sign of what we were saying in the first half, get those wide boys involved in the game. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it might very well be something that Paul spotted from up in the stands during those first 45 minutes. And I mean, it is once again, isn't it? I mean, we know we've said it a couple of times before. I mean, not that Ware were had a particularly bad first half, but they especially of late, they have had a better second half, haven't they?
Yeah, they've certainly been a much stronger team. One of the stats, bear out the fact they've been a much stronger team. And, of course, their record in the last 10 minutes of games is quite unreal. 16 goals in the last 10 minutes they've scored and 10 they've conceded. So you always give it a little bit lively in the last 10 minutes when we're concerned. Lewis Green down the line onto the head of Joe Dearman, further on by Mitch Hahn. Jack Green gets it back for Bedford, and it's then put out of play with his first touch by Adam Martin, who slotted in to that midfield where Henry Dudley was in the first half. Going to be a throw-in for Ware, which David Sota will take on this near side of the field. Throw-in. Looking for John Clements, but he's batted out of play once again by Jack Green. We'll throw in again to Ware in front of Lee Bircham and the Bedford dugout. He's there with his assistant Tony Joyce. Referee calls for another ball. Quite know what happened to the other one then. Must have gone somewhere. They go and get it back.
It's just down by the side of the dugout.
That's what I thought. Yeah. But Anyway, David Sota will take the throw down the line, over his head by John Clements for Theo Ofori, and here's George Ironton into the box. First touch wasn't too good. Smith's come out and smothers it with his legs, but Ware get a corner. But George will know he should have had a better first touch there.
Yeah, he shouldn't he? He took that a little bit too heavy, and then he was a little bit hesitant, and Smith's come out, and blocked it, very well. But again, this is more positive signs from there. And this is what I was saying. We see in the second half from them.
Very positive start for the home side. What can they do from this corner? It comes across. Smith punches it out, bounces off of Jack Green, and it's put in the back of the net by John Clements. Ware level helped on Bedford in all sorts of trouble inside their own area. And as the ball came through, it was John Clements who put it in for his 5th goal of the season. And we're right back level.
Yeah, that's it. The thing is now, I'm sure everyone can hear. You've got this crowd going, and this is what we want. We want the crowd behind them, but we needed that crowd behind them. Obviously, I've pulled it back now, but we needed that crowd behind them when they was 2-0 down.
Well, it's been set pieces that have cost Bedford. 2 of them haven't cleared them. It was a poor punch by the goalkeeper, and when it was threaded back in, it was John Clements who was the quickest to react, and Ware back level Ware, and everything to play for. Paul Halsey's now taken up just on our left-hand side, I see. So he's watching here with us in the stand. 2-2. Well, we thought it might be a cracker, and it's developing into one. Here's Collard for Bedford. Plays the ball forward for Liam Dawson. Dawson back for Collard again. Collard looks for Liam Dawson on that far side of the field, surrounded by blue shirts, gives it away to Alex Warman. Alex's ball forward to John Clements. This is a much different Ware side than we saw in the opening 20 minutes. Here comes John Clements, right hand side of the area. He's got Mensah in front of him, fires in the shot! Oh, it's got in! Oh, straight through Mark Smith. Paul Halsey celebrates in front of us, and in 3 second half minutes this game has turned on its head.
Oh, it is crazy, isn't it? What was he saying earlier about the game here before? Last season or a couple of seasons ago, when it was Ware that went 2-0 in front and ended up 3-2 down. But obviously, there's still plenty of time here to go. But it happened to it's happened to Bedford before. I don't want to speak too early, Pete, but I've still got Paul's celebration in my head. I don't want to speak too early, but they've had leads before and they've thrown them away, and they've struggled to get them back. And is it history repeating itself? I wonder. Hopefully it is. Well,
most prominently, it happened recently, of course, against Hadley. So same thing happened again. 3-2 last time Bedford were here. But this time it's Ware that are in front. And John Clements has scored 2 in 2 minutes. 6 for the season for Clemo. And Bedford now have got it all to do. Long kick forward. Jack Grosvenor heads it out from the edge of his area. And well, if Ware do get 3 points out of this one, it will have been the team talk of the season by Paul Halsey and Joe O'Brien. Long ball forward. They're looking for Clements again. Mensah's not too short. And he's given the boys, Paul Clements down, surely. But in the end, he manages to come away with the ball and then just thumps it down the sideline, looking for Lobjoy, who brings it down away from David Sota. And then away from Mitch Hahn. Good footwork by the number 10 inside the centre circle. But they have to go backwards to Alex Collard. Collard's ball, far side, brings out Connolly. Puts the ball inside for Bell Toxtell. Bell Toxtell's ball finds Martin. Martin for Lewis Green on this near side. Chips it to the edge of the area, just off the heel of Jack Grosvenor. Lobjoy's there making a nuisance of himself. Goes to the ground under challenge from Mitch Hahn. Nothing given by the referee, and we're back inside the Bedford halfway goal. Mensah, who just manages to get it away from Joe Dearman when he looked to be in trouble. Jack Green back into his own half for Martin. Carl Mensah plays it to his left for Collard. And certainly with the news that Biggleswade Town were comfortably 2-0 up at half-time. Things not going well for Bedford at the moment. As Fred Burbage comes out, it's a little bit early for the dying swan, Fred, but we'll appreciate the effort. 7 minutes into the second half, we're leading here by 3-2 on National Non-League Day. And anybody that's come to watch this first time at non-league football will surely be back. Long kick forward by Fred, headed by Connolly forward. Bell Toxtall, though, can just turn it out of play.
I was just thinking that, Pete. I mean, obviously, we said, in the first half, what a good advert it was for non-league football on National Non-League Day. I mean, now the start of this second half, you'd have some people here already thinking, God, I can't wait till next week now, and that's exactly what we want, isn't it?
It certainly is. Steph Giorgio with the throw for Ware. Down the line, headed on by the man of the moment, John Clements. Talking about Lovejoy and a hat-trick. Clemos on a hat-trick as well, of course, as the ball's dug out and cleared by Collard. Giorgio can't keep it in on that far side, but it will go out of play for a throw-in. Martin will find Connolly, puts it on this near side, brought down by Lewis Green. He's going to have to go back to Mensah, midway inside his own half. Clements closes down the space. Mensah's long ball looks to release. Liam Dawson to bounces, take it out for a goal kick to Ware. Fred Burbage starting to take his time, despite the fact we've only had 8 minutes of the second half here, and why shouldn't he? This could be a massive day as far as Ware are concerned and their potential in getting into the playoffs, and it could be a massive day for Bedford, or not their potential of becoming champions. Who would have thought that at the beginning of the season? I can remember going to Welling Garden City when they won there. We talked to Chairman Dave Coates, and even he said, well, Bedford are going to walk this league. Well, they're not walking it at the moment, as George Ironton snuffles the ball away from Martin and then is pushed and pulled, and referee gives Ware a free kick, which will be taken on the halfway line. It's amazing how a game can change, isn't it? The first 20 minutes was nothing like this, and now Ware are running rings around Bedford.
It is, isn't it? I mean, you said before about, sort of like Bedford, they sort of like, the goals scored and goals conceded are pretty much the same in the second half. Obviously, goals scored in the first half is far superior, and only conceded, I think it was 8, wasn't it, that you said. But this second, like I said at the beginning of this second half as well, Ware, especially of late, have been so much a stronger side in the second half, and it's shown here again today.
Yeah, they did last week at North Lee, but they left it late to get 2 of their 3, of course. And this afternoon, 3 more. Goal scoring had been a problem. The defence had been solid enough, but not a problem this afternoon, as John Clements has hit form. And Ware have hit back from 2-0 down to lead 3-2 here at Watson Park. Plenty of time to go, though. Plenty more to unfold from this one, I think. Kick on this near side, kept in well by Joe Dearman, but in the end Mensah can clear it. On by Alex Warman and George Ironton and Tim Smith. Just a little bit off his line, and it's always worth a try. We've seen them scored from further out than that this season.
We have, absolutely, yeah. I mean, we've seen some real crackers this season. We know George can score from that distance too. So absolutely well worth the effort.
Mark Smith then will take the goal kick from the goal away to our left-hand side at a sunlit Watson Park. Sun shining on Ware at the moment. They lead 3-2. David Sota's header to, in the end, the ball goes out from Bell Toxtall on this near side, and you just get this feeling, the confidence is ebbing away from Bedford Town. They've lost their last 2 against Hadley and AFC Dunstable at home. With greatest respect to those 2 clubs, there are games that a team like Bedford, who were top of the table at the time, would have expected to win. They've come here to Ware, they've been 2-0 up after 19 minutes, and suddenly they find themselves 3-2 down. 44 players this season. We made that point, actually. We've talked to Lewis Rose, didn't we, earlier? And I saw his eyebrows go up when I told him they've used 44 players this season so far, Bedford.
It's absolutely crazy, it really is. And it does make you wonder, but how can you have any sort of like team cohesion if a couple of players left them yesterday, they've made another new signing. You've got players coming in and out like a revolving door. Surely the players don't get a chance and used to playing with each other. it's bizarre.
Yeah, it's interesting really, because the Bedford team that came down here 2 seasons ago and won promotion has Blake thumps into the back of David Sota and for some reason thinks it shouldn't be a free kick, but it's going to be a free kick. I mean, that Bedford side that came here and won 3-2, you could almost write it down from the beginning of the season to the end, couldn't you? It was so solid.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's obviously, what massively helped them, win the league that season. And as you say, it was, pretty much 1 to 11. Every week you could predict the side, but this game, this season for this Bedford Town side, it's very difficult. You don't know who's going to be there from 1 week to the next.
And I think really, if you look in contrast, Ware, who have also lost players this season, quite a few of them, they now have got a squad that they do know who's going to be in it, and that's been to their advantage in the past few games, and particularly since Jack Grosvenor and Alex Warman have arrived, because they have been a major part in Ware's resurgence, which continues here with them leading Bedford 3-2, and at the moment Bedford don't seem to know what to do about it, as Lewis Green plays the ball and Martin on the halfway line, back into his own half for Mensah. It's the Ware crowd who are getting behind their team now. Mensah's long ball forward will not cause a problem at all for Fred Burbidge, who will just control the ball away from Ryan Blake, and 13 minutes have gone in the second half here on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. And this one has turned around. We're 2-0 down after 19 minutes, now lead 3-2 against second place Bedford. Long kick forward by Fred Burbidge onto the head of Cole Mensah, headed back in by George Ironton, and then forward by Martin, up in the air by Steph Giorgio. Difficult one for Jack Grosvenor to deal with, but he does, and puts it back to Fred Burbidge. Long ball forward from Fred, 2 against 2 almost there, as Mensah goes over the top of John Clements. And Kyle Connolly will pick it up for Bedford, approaching the halfway line. Gives the ball away straight to Giorgio. Puts it back to John Clements. Theo Ofori's there, pointed where he wanted it. He got it. Right hand side of the box. Theo Ofori still. Theo Ofori. Oh, good save by Smith at his near post. And he parries the ball behind for a corner.
Yeah, great effort there from and great sight from Clemo as well to see that run from Theo. As you say, Theo, he put it where Theo wanted it, and great shot from Theo and a great save from Mark Smith as well.
It's Ware that are creating the chances in this second half. See, Paul Halsey's got his third seat of the game now. He's sitting just down there. He's been all over the place. Corner to be taken by Joe Dearman, curls it in, and this time Bedford do deal with it. As Bell Toxtell plays the ball out, they could be in there as Liam Dawson can't control the ball, and Steph Giorgio does an excellent job and starts coming in the opposite direction, but plays it behind Joe Dearman and out of play for a throw in. Liam Dawson's summed up Bedford's half so far. Got an opportunity of a 2-on-2, couldn't control the ball as Green puts it down the line, looking for Blake into the back of Jack Grosvenor again, and the referee gives a free kick. Well, there's the man just behind us. I think he's made a relevant point there. I mean, he barges into the back of David Sota. He's pulled Jack Grosvenor down. The referee's not even talked to him.
No. I mean, the referee doesn't seem interested in at all, does he? Indeed, I mean, not even a sort of look, have a word with him sort of thing. And I wonder what was going on there. It looks like he's getting a little bit warm. He's taking his Under Armour stuff. The refs doing absolutely nothing with him. So. I think that red font will be coming out again later.
I think it will, yeah. But, I might be. If the score stays like this, I'll be in generous mood. But, a little worry for Ware with George Ironton down. You always get worried when Ware goes down, when George goes down rather. You see that Victoria's back out on the gate. I'm going to supply the necessary to him. George certainly not a player that will want to go off if he can avoid it, but it doesn't look too hopeful at the moment. He's limping. It's that calf problem, isn't it, that's caused him a problem for a couple of seasons now, and hopefully he's going to be okay, although I think I can see his substitute warming up. The obvious replacement, I guess, will be Freddie Moncur on the bench, although Jack Dreyer may be as well. We've got two replacements, but it's disappointing. George is, I don't think, going to play too much further part.
No, it looks like, Freddie's coming on,
Freddie's coming on. So that's Freddie gives George a pat on the back, and Freddie Moncur will come on. Very popular character here at Watson Park. Comes on for his 62nd appearance in a Ware shirt for George Ironton. So both teams have been forced to make substitutions for injury, and the game will eventually restart from the penalty area away to our right hand side for Fred Burbidge. Bit of Norman Collier with a microphone now.
Exactly, that's exactly what I was just thinking.
But other comedians are available for younger listeners. As ball forwards onto the head of Jack Grosvenor, and inside the centre circle, Freddie Moncur's first ball forward as Theo Ofori on his bike, and Smith has to come out, volley it out of play on the halfway line on that far side of the field. Rio da Silva does a little bit of a warm-up down the line. He perhaps, Rio da Silva and Jamal Olienko would be the obvious two as far as Bedford are concerned if they want to get back into the game. As far side Rio Echo Coker thumps the ball up. One bounce, nobody quite knows what to do with it. Menster's over the back of Clements again. It's been a good battle between those two. It's a sliced clearance by Martin. Sota can't collect it, and Lobjoy here on this side is robbed by a super tackle by Jack Grosvenor. Once more, who are you going to call when there's a trouble? And Jack Grosvenor, who just reads the game so well, read that perfectly. He knew Sota was in trouble and came to his left back's aid. Collard, this near side for Lewis Green. Back for Carl Mensah. Mensah's got Clements there. They were good mates when they were at Welwyn Garden City. I think Carl Mensah will be glad to see the back of John Clements this afternoon.
I think he will be. I'm sure after the game, that Clemo will be reminding him he's got a couple of goals so far today.
Joe Dearman's ball looking to search out Theo Ofori on the far side. Couldn't reach him, but Ware will get it back with Mitch Hahn. And Theo looked to be impeded by Connolly, but the referee not interested. Liam Dalton will pick it up. Find Ryan Blake, left-hand side, but Echo Coker does a good bit of defending and takes the ball away from Blake and puts it down the line for Steph Giorgio. There's confidence in this Ware team that we didn't see in the first half, and it's certainly looking good for them so far. Mitch Hahn having a little bit of word with the referee. 20 minutes have elapsed in the second half here on National League Day, with Ware leading Bedford Town by 3-2. A game turned on its head by 2 goals inside 2 second half minutes, both coming from John Clements. Clements heads the ball up in the air, managed to get it back over his head, looking for a Ofori. Gollard gets there first. Freddie Moncur's in challenging, and the ball will break to Joe Dearman, and Joe almost got a run on the edge of the area. Freddie Moncur will get it back for Ware. Forward by Jack Grosvenor to Joe Dearman. Freddie Moncur's made the run, and Joe couldn't find him, and Lewis Green got in the way. Thumps the ball against Joe Dearman, and it's out for a throw in. But it's that confidence they didn't really show in the first half, but they've got it in bag loads here.
Yeah, they have. I mean, it's amazing the difference between that first half team and the second half team. I mean, I said earlier on in the game when they went 2-0 down, it looked like a few of their heads had dropped, and now they're absolutely raring to go and chasing every ball and believing they can win every ball. And as you say, they're looking really, really confident. It's a great sign. I just wish we could put it together for sort of like the first 45 minutes as well. Well,
let's hope they can do it in the run-in, because if they hold on, and it is a big if, to these 3 points, the gap between the two teams will be just 2 points. And Ware will be one of the top teams in the Form League, and Bedford will be one of the bottom. As the ball in the centre circle headed on by Mitch Hahn to Freddie Moncur to Joe Dearman, midway inside the Bedford half. David Sota making the overlap down the left-hand side. Forward for Joe, thumped out by Carl Mensah. As long as it's at that end, Ware won't be worried at all. The head of Paul Horsey pops up away to our left-hand side. thumbs up to someone in the crowd. Joe O'Brien's doing the shouting inside the technical area, and the two of them have certainly engineered quite a comeback here so far. Throw in by Mitch Hahn. First chance we've had to see one of Mitch's long throws, and he doesn't take it. Plays it short to John Clements on the edge of the area. He's there with Lovejoy. Clements turns it round, gets it across the area. Jack Grosvenor had made his way up from the back, but the ball goes over his head. And substitution about to be made. Said we might see Rio da Silva, and we are. So it's going to be Fernando Bell-Toxtall who comes off, and Rio da Silva who comes on. So that's a midfield player for a very attacking winger come striker, and one that will certainly run with the ball. Rio da Silva, saw him for Kempston, of course, and one of the players that's come through the revolving door at the New Eyrie. And to be fair to him, he's come to join his brother, of course, who's been here a while, Cole da Silva. At far side of the field, where will win a free kick. And Bedford's frustrations continue. Steph Giorgio's gone down this time. You do worry when he goes down, but not to wish any ill to Steph. But I'm quite glad to see he's holding his head and not his hamstring, which means he's going to be okay.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, that problem he had before. Then, a couple of weeks ago, obviously, or a few weeks ago, he was suspended after that red card, and he's an important fixture in this side. I think the runs he makes down that right hand side, and absolutely fantastic, and he links up really well with Joe down that side as well.
Joe Dearman forward on the edge of the area as John Clements wrestling, but Martin sorts that out. Rio da Silva's first touch finds Lovejoy inside the centre circle, plays the ball forward. Lovejoy's making a run right hand side, where could have some defending to do here. He's against David Sota, fires the ball quite aimlessly in the end, all the way across, and it goes out for a throw-in. Not quite know what he was trying to do there at all.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't know if he's just got the angle wrong or caught it wrong or what. But that was a terrible shot.
Oh, so Paul Halsey's now he's on the surface outside the stand. I suppose that beats the technical area, doesn't it? You can go where you like down there.
I'm expecting him to come and sit next to me, or come and sit on your lap or something in a minute. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Joe Dearman's got the ball for Ware. He's going down the right-hand side. Can have a chance to get it across. Doesn't get it across, but will do now. Controlled by John Clements. Going to break on the edge of the area for Alex Warman. Not got too much support. It goes towards the corner flag. Lovejoy is down there with him. Alex still there, two tussling for the ball in an area I can't see. But linesman's flag tells me that Ware have got a throw-in. Mitch Hahn will take that throw-in on this near side of the field. Jack Grosvenor's come up from the back. Echo Goga stayed at home along with David Soda and Steph Giorgio. Two to mark for Bedford. And throw-in will come, and one of Mitch's throw-ins is as good as a corner from this near side. It is going to be the long one, is it? Although Joe Dearman's come short, but it is going to be the long throw. Grosvenor can't get to it. Breaks to the edge of the area for Freddie Moncur. Finds Mitch Hahn again. Brings in Joe Dearman. Joe drops the shoulder, goes round Mensah and puts the ball all the way across, and it goes out for a goal kick to Bedford. 20 minutes remaining at Watson Park. We're leading by 3-2. Started in third this morning. If this continues, they will stay in third. But there will be just 2 points between them and second place Bedford, who have dropped further behind Biggleswade Town, unless something dramatic happens in Bedfordshire, of Biggleswade having been 2-0 up against Kings Langley at half-time. Kings Langley will be the next visitors here on Easter Monday, and we will be here to watch the game. And I tell you, it's happened again then. There's a handball in front of us. The linesman's put his flag up. The referee has looked at the linesman and then sounded his whistle.
Yeah. I mean, whether it's that or whether he reacted to the crowd, I don't know. But yeah, make the decision for your own life. If it's right or wrong, make the decision yourself.
Yeah, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? Who's refereeing this game, the two assistants or the referee? But, free kick to Ware anyway, which Fred Burbage will take. Fred with a trusty left foot looks for Theo Ofori on the far side. Connolly will beat him to the ball though, but just put it out of play. Goes down with a very dramatic yell. Theo looks at him and turns away. The referee will give Bedford a free kick, and Connolly will get up. So I don't quite know why that yelling was all about, but he's got up and walked away from it. Another substitute warms up in front of us for Bedford. That's Charles Stallard, who's a young defender on loan from Watford. As Jack Grosvenor deals with Blake's header from the edge of the Ware area and just thumps it out on this near side. Referee's called for another ball again. Does he not realise that it just goes to the other side of the stand here and somebody can throw it back to him? It's very strange. David Sota heads it down to the edge of the area. Liam Dodson will bring in Martin. Far side, Connolly chasing to try and keep the ball in. Steph Giorgio's there with him, puts the ball across the box. Fred Burbage says, "That's mine, thank you very much," and collects it on the edge of the 6-yard box. Gets a good round of applause from the Ware crowd. Time is marching on, 28 minutes gone in the second half. We're leading by 3-2. Great to see Lewis Rose there, just in front of the Ware dugout, having a look at his team, biting his nails a little bit, doing what skippers do, as De Silva's given the ball away to Steph Giorgio, who in turn gives it to Jack Green. Martin will bring in Lewis Green, no relation, on this near side, down the line for Ryan Blake. Blake there with Sota and Joe Dearman, and just gives the ball away tamely to David Sota. And Joe Dearman will slice across the ball and put it out of play on this near side right in front of us. Lewis Green will leave it for Carl Mensah. Mensah's throw gets more height than distance, and he's headed out easily by Joe Dearman, returned by Martin. Jack Grosvenor is tussling away with Lovejoy to test his innocence, but Bedford have got a free kick here in an interesting position.
Yeah. I mean, it's a dangerous position, isn't it, for any free kick? And Ware have got to make sure they get their angles right and defend this properly. And we don't want to see Bedford getting a keyhole back into this game.
Kyle Connolly and Rio De Silva are there. De Silva's going to walk away, so it's going to be Connolly, a left-footed right back. Looks to the bench. There's two-man Werewolf, Freddie Moncur and Joe Dearman. Everybody else lined up at the edge of the area. Chips it across. Collard's header. Oh, brilliant save by Fred Burbage. He's kept Ware's lead intact there. Hadn't picked Collard up. Got that header in. Super save by Fred.
Yeah, super save. Great effort from Collard as well. And it looked like it was just going to sneak inside that far post. But diving Fred Burbage saved the day.
Connolly's going to take the corner from that far side. First time really Bedford have threatened in this second half. Takes it short to Liam Dalton. Can't control the ball, and Steph Giorgio will find Joe Dearman, and we've got opportunities to come forward here. Only Theo Ofori in front of him. Joe Dearman goes to the left hand side, so does Theo Ofori. Didn't really get on the same wavelength there, but Theo's got the ball back, goes down under challenge. Referee says nothing doing. Bedford will come away with Jack Green. Finds Rio De Silva. De Silva's ball near side as Blake backpedaling and then giving it away to Mitch Hart. Puts it back inside the Bedford half, and Freddie Moncur's onside inside the area here. Freddie Moncur goes for glory and puts the ball in the side netting.
Well, I mean, the Ware are thinking that the ball came off Mark Smith there, and the referee's given a goal kick, and none of them seem too impressed with that decision.
Well, frantic passage of play. Could have had opportunities at either end there. Theo Ofori and Joe Dearman weren't listening to the same radio station though. Both ended on the left hand side. Here's Lovejoy. Plays the ball for Rio De Silva. De Silva there with Alex Warman. Alex is not buying it at the moment as De Silva tries to turn on the tricks, but Liam Dalton's cross is headed behind by David Sota for a corner, with the Bedford fans behind the goal crying for a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see anything in that myself. There doesn't seem to be any other protests from any of the players. It's just, I think, a hopeful cry from the Bedford fans behind the goal there, hoping to persuade the ref.
13 minutes remaining here at Watson Park. Corner to Bedford on this near side. We're leading by 3 goals to 2. Fred Burbage goes down under challenge inside the area. And he's not the kind of player to do that. Something must have happened in there. Mitch Hahn has a little bit of word with the referee. The referee who's relied on his assistance all afternoon doesn't seem to be too interested. He's now walking towards Fred, who's still down inside the 6-yard box. Don't see what happened there.
No,
but,
no, I didn't see anything. And the referee is calling someone over to him.
There's
like
Martin,
he's going to take some sort of action here.
Well, it's going to be interesting. He is calling a player over. Can't quite see who it is. I don't think he knows at the moment. But we'll see who it is. Bringing Collard over, who's the skipper. He's got Ryan Blake there as well. He's having a word with Mitch Hahn as far as Ware are concerned. So Fred Burbage is still down inside the 6-yard box. Referee's having a word. And confusion reigns at the moment, I think, here at Watson Park. He's had a word. He looked like he was reaching for his pocket and didn't. Mitch Hahn is then walking away. Fred Burbage is getting treatment inside the 6-yard box.
Fred doesn't seem to have moved a lot either. Oh, he's just getting to his feet now, which is a good sign.
Yeah, hopefully he's going to be okay. And I don't think the referee saw what happened there.
No, I don't think he did either. And the thing is, as well, I mean, I guess his assistant on this side would have notified him, but he's not even gone to him to see if he saw anything.
Well, they're all packed inside that 6-yard box again as the corner comes across to the near post and he's headed away by Steph Giorgio. Freddie Moncur can't control it. Rio de Silva does. He's dangerous. Plays the ball this near side for Connolly. Gets it onto the favoured left boot. Looking for Liam Dawson and thump clear by David Salter. Liam caught him on the way through, but it's just going to be a free kick to Ware and nothing else. We know Liam well enough to know that he's not that kind of player at all.
Yeah, I'll just bring you a couple of score updates, Pete. I mean, it's still 1-0 to AFC Dudsford against Welwyn Garden City. Hertford, they have pulled a goal back. Balogun has made it 3-1, so it's now 3-1 to Hadley.
So bad day for Welwyn Garden City and Hertford so far. Good day for Ware. They lead here by 3 goals to 2. Fred Burbage's kick is fielded before it hits the Ware dugout by Joe O'Brien. We are about to enter into the last 10 minutes. And you don't need telling, but I'm going to tell you anyway. 16 goals for and 10 against for Ware in the last 10 minutes of games. It's got a bit lively when things have got towards the conclusion. As far as Bedford are concerned, by the way, it's been fairly boring. 6 goals for and 7 against. Theo Afori plays it forward, looking for John Clements, can't collect it, straight at Mensah. Mensah's ball lands with Ryan Blake on the halfway line. Blake plays the ball back to Lewis Green, chips it forward for Jack Green onto the chest of Blake as David Sota just bundles into him, and oh my word, referee's going to give Sota a yellow card here when Ryan Blake was the one who took him out early in this second half, and that is all because Ryan Blake complained there.
Yeah, I don't know how he's come to that. Well, I do know how he's come to that decision, but that's ridiculous for him for booking David for that. It really is.
So free kick to be taken by Rio de Silva. And unfortunately, Mr. Graham continues not to cover himself in glory, as far as we're concerned. Kick is a poor one, dealt with David Sota on the edge of the area. Afori goes in, and Ware can come forward here if John Clements can rattle this ball away. They've got attackers left, right and centre. Is Steph Giorgio going into the box? Can he make it? Oh, can he make it? Certainly can't, because Mark Smith has saved Bedford with his legs. Steph Giorgio's head goes down. Bedford come in the opposite direction. Ware have got plenty of players back, like Ryan Blake, right-hand side for Carl Mensah, who's up the right wing. Here's Blake again with Sota in front of him. Blake tries to go outside. Sota gets the ball across, dealt with by Ego Goka, a diving Ego Goka. It's going to break to Lobjoy. Echo Goka, super block at the edge of the area. Lovejoy again, this time blocked by Steph Giorgio. And suddenly we're almost in an NBA game here as we're coming forward. But Mitch Hahn puts the brakes on. And on that far side, he will bring in Freddie Moncur. Back to Mitch Hahn, forward. John Clement's header is a great one. Looking for Joe Dearman, but ball bounces off his chest. And Carl Menzel will get it away for Bedford Town, only as far as Steph Giorgio, and the ball will break to Jack Grosvenor inside the centre circle. Near side to Theo Ofori. Here goes Jack Grosvenor forward, looking for the ball for Joe Dearman. Joe Dearman's in the area here, but there's a flag up on the far side for offside.
Well, I mean, what a mad 5 minutes we've had, haven't we? It's been absolutely great. A couple of really, really good chances there for Ware. And if they'd have taken them, then that would have really set them on their way to 3 points this afternoon. But as it stands, obviously still 1 goal in it, and still a few minutes to go. So they've got to keep tight, keep hold of things defensively, and hopefully keep hold of these potential 3 points.
Well, it's an interesting change being made by Lee Bircham here, because Carl Connolly has gone off. And the young man Charlie Stallard on loan from Watford has come on, which means Bedford have gone 3 at the back, because Stallard's a centre half and he's come on to play in that position. So they know how important it is to get something out of this game. It's all hands to the pump for the visitors, and we're looking to hold on to what would be their best result of the season so far. David Sota's throw off the head of Mensah and out. Rounds of applause, caught by Paul Halsey.
Safe hands there, we wouldn't expect nothing less, would we?
Well, we'd given him some stick afterwards if he dropped that one. Paul Halsey applauds the crowd. Mitch Hahn will take the throw-in. Get on with it, says the referee. He says, well, I can't do that because Steph Giorgio's down inside the centre circle. Not such good this time with Steph down. Victoria's going to come out again, and the only net result of this, so I think we're going to have some considerable time added on at the end of this.
Yeah, I think we will have, and Steph looks like he's struggling. It looks like he's a little bit of a hamstring issue, which obviously isn't a good sign for him. And
I don't know. I think it might be cracked.
Could be. Hopefully, with the way that Victoria is treating him, it looks like it might be a little touch of cramps. So let's hope he can continue.
Ben Siggers is on the bench and would be a direct replacement as a full-back, because Ware's bench looks pretty strong these days. But looks like Steph's going to be okay, which is good news. I can see that Kieran Bishop is getting his shirt on, so he could be about to enter proceedings, and indeed he is. So here comes... in fact, it's Richard Ennin who's about to come on. So Richard Ennin will come on. He's been unlucky to be out of the starting lineup, hasn't he? And Steph's gone off.
Into the dugout.
So, I think we can see what's going on here. Joe Dearman's gone to right back, and Richard Ennin has come on to play wide on this left-hand side with new pair of very shiny white boots, I notice.
That's it. Oh, they are. My word, yeah, they are, aren't they?
That's a throwback to Alan Ball's white boots of the 70s. Long kick forward onto the head of Rio de Silva. Here's Ryan Blake will try and keep it in and does. Blake then tries to chip it over Jack Grosvenor, but he's got to do better than that. Jack gets in the way. David Sota's clearance isn't a good one, though. Ball goes out. The referee immediately calls for another one. Ryan Blake was standing there with the ball, and the referee said, we need another ball.
I don't know if he thinks there's some sort of vortex outside the barrier.
There's some sort of black hole here behind this stand where all the balls disappear. It's going to be a long throw, and it's going to be taken by Stallard. So obviously that's also part of the reason why he's been brought on by Lee Bircham. And it is a long throw as well. Onto the edge of the area, up goes Richard Ennin. It's going to be a corner to Bedford. Be taken on this near side, and it looks like Charlie Stallard is going to go across to take it as well. We've got 4 minutes, but no, in fact it is going to be Rio de Silva. 4 minutes plus an appreciable amount of added time here at Watson Park. We're leading by 3 goals to 2. third against second this morning. Will remain that way, but the gap between them will narrow. The Silver's caught up all the way out on the far post, and Liam Dalton had to rescue it. Finds Stallard, good ball across the area. Lovejoy's header is a poor one over the top of the crossbar, and Freddie Burbage will juggle the ball and take his time in taking the goal kick. Last time Bedford were here, of course, there was drama in the final seconds as they snatched a 3-2 win. This time it's Ware who are 3-2 in front as George Ironson gets a appreciative round of applause as he heads down towards the dressing room. Let's hope that injury is not too serious. Fred Burbage, long ball forward, looking for Richard Ennin. Freddie Moncur will send John Clements, who belies his age by sprinting for the ball on this near side and getting there ahead of Lewis Green. Clemo again causing a problem, and in the end he just forces Mensah to chip it out of play. Bounce it off the side of the Ware dugout. And it's going to be a throw in to the home side. Mitch Hahn's not going to take the long throw. Richard Ennin says, I'll take that one. So it will be. In fact, no, he's going to leave it to Mitch Hahn. And Mitch will take the throw. John Clements right down by the corner flag. It's Richard Ennin, left-hand side of the box. Tries to go around Mensah, but in the end just shrugs the big central defender aside, but the ball bounces off him last and goes out for a throw-in to Bedford. 2 minutes plus time added on for stoppages at a sunlit Watson Park on a cracking national non-league day. One of the best games we've seen this season. Could get better here as Theo Ofori's on the right-hand side of the box. Good ball by Freddie Moncur. Theo's there with yellow shirts in front of him, and he saw John Clements thought he got a hat-trick, and Smith was going the wrong way, adjusted his position and kept Bedford in the game with his legs.
Yeah, that's a great save, isn't it? Clemo, he's hit that ball, he's hit it really well as well, he's caught it nicely. And, that has saved the day for Bedford, I think, for Mark Smith.
John Clements had hat-trick written all over his face when he hit that. But Mark Smith kept Bedford in the game. Alex Warman is wrestling with Rio da Silva, does well to win the header. Is Martin inside the centre circle, goes down under challenge from Freddie Moncur. Stallard coming forward down that left side. Long legs from the young central defender, but his ball is straight into the arms of Fred Burbage, who grabs it.
Looks like the ref just made some sort of signal, and I didn't with his hand. I don't know if it's for how much time was added on. It looked like he was possibly holding 8 fingers up. I don't know, but he was definitely holding for hands up, and his hands were spread as if he was trying to signal an amount of minutes.
Well, we're in the last minute of normal time here. But, the treatment we've had to various players in the second half means that we are going to have a fair bit of time added on as Rio Goga clears from inside his own half. Looks for Theo Ofori, and Freddie Moncur will pounce on the ball and bring in David
9
Sota.
minutes it looks like. I mean, Paul's just spoke to Paul Halsey, and he's just asking and questioning, and it looks like there's 9 minutes of added time.
So still time for Bedford to get back on level terms, or where to put this one beyond them, as David Sota goes down under challenge from Ryan Blake. Ryan Blake moans at the referee's assistant again, and thank you, referee. Ryan Blake is finally going to get a yellow card. Well, he's been cruising for that since the beginning of the second half here, and the referee has finally shown a yellow card to the number 7. Paul Halsey's on the halfway line.
He's trying to... They're trying to find out definitely how much time is added on, like where he's found all this time from.
So Fred Burbage has got the ball down. Ryan Blake's getting a bit of bird from the Ware crowd. And,
he's taking it well, isn't he?
To be fair, he's experienced. He's taken it well, but he must know he's deserved that booking.
Yeah, I think he knows he's been getting away with it all game, really.
Miss kick by Collard, straight to Richard Ennin, who punts it down that far side. Ball down on his chest by Theo Ofori. Got Stallard in front of him. Ofori turns inside him. The defender gets a boot in, but Ware get the ball back with Joe Dearman. Joe turns back for Mitch Hahn, finds Joe again on that far side, starts a run. Joe Dearman still going through. Here goes Joe Dearman, still going. to the edge of the area. The ball breaks. Freddie Moncur. It's Theo Forey. It's 4-2 and surely it's all over. Theo Forey thumps the ball. Fred Burbage comes all the way down to celebrate. Bedford look crestfallen and listen to that crowd.
Well, I can hardly hear you, Pete, above this crowd. It's really got the crowd up. That seems to be it. Obviously, we know there's quite a bit of added time to go. But you look around at these Bedford players. They've got their heads down. They look absolutely deflated. And this crowd's going to really get behind these Ware players now to cheer them over the line in the final few minutes.
Well, it was a marvellous run by Joe Dearman from the right-hand side, and when the ball came across, Bedford were lacking in numbers, and Theo Forey scores his first goal since he's come back here. His 9th of the season, and Ware lead by 4-2.
I'll tell you something, Pete. This is something you don't see as well. All the Bedford, look at these Bedford fans going from behind the goal. They've had enough. It looks like they're either heading out or heading to the bar to console their sorrows.
Well, barring something really dramatic, it's going to be a third defeat in a row for Bedford Town. Their season is in danger of falling apart as Ware's season looks to be picking up momentum. Far side of the field, ball dribbled out of play by Liam Dawson. Liam's a lovely lad, we like him, and I just wonder what he's thinking. If he'd stayed here, he could have been part of it. He went to Bedford, and well, it's all gone wrong for him and the team. Joe Dearman will take the throw in for Bedford. It's going to be some night in the old town here. Paul Halsey, we will talk to, of course. You'll hear his reaction on 90 minutes post-match tomorrow. I haven't even started to broach man of the match, but maybe here's your warning, Simon, and we'll get it on the full-time whistle as Jack Grosvenor, who again has been immense at the back, thumps the ball out. Mitch Hahn, Ware fancy another one here, but it's Lewis Green who's in the way. Ryan Blake forward for Lobjoy. What must he be thinking? 2-0 up they were when he scored his second after 19 minutes, and it looks as if the old Bedford had returned, but not to be. A stunning second half comeback by Ware. They went in 2-1 down at half time, and they now lead by 4-2, and yet another one scored in the final 10 minutes. That's 17 this season in the final 10 minutes of matches. Throw's going to come from Stallard on this near side. Fred Burbage comes up, and I don't need to tell you he's collected the ball with a big cheer from the Ware crowd. Jack Dreyer's about to join us as Ware make a substitution. Lee Bircham is there in the technical area for Bedford. What must he be thinking? To be fair, we saw Bedford earlier on the season. They were by far the better team against Hertford and against Welwyn Garden City. But something has gone horribly wrong at the New Erie. The pitch hasn't helped. They haven't had many home games, and they've got 3 games in a week, which I don't think they'll be looking forward to. As Liam Dawson gives a free kick away. A home game against Tame, you would normally put money on Bedford, but Tame are fighting for their lives at the bottom of the table, and that can be far from certain now as well.
No, absolutely. I know we've said it all season, but you're really taking a risk trying to call any game. It seems anyone can beat anyone this season, and there's so many sort of obscure results, or results you wouldn't have expected. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to put a 5 on it, Pete. I'll tell you that.
Well, certainly, Tame United fighting for their lives. Waltham Abbey want to keep in the playoffs, and Biggleswade Town at the top of the table. That's the next 3. Here's Mitch Hahn getting a big round of applause from the Ware crowd, including his manager. He's played his part. First full game he's played for a few weeks. Brought in for experience, and that experience told. Handshake from the chairman. And he, like everybody else in a blue and white striped shirt, has really played their part this afternoon. And of course Fred Burbage in lime green, not to leave him out, because it was that save at 3-2 but really allowed Ware to go forward and score the fourth, as they've got a throw-in on that far side. We've had 6 minutes of the 9 to be added on, and Bedford really, as Theo Forey puts it across, Jack Dreyer has come on, by the way, for Mitch, and Ryan Blake will pick the ball up on the halfway line. Freddie Moncur snapping at his ankles. Blake does well, good footwork, plays it to his left to Rio de Silva. De Silva further for Liam Dawson. Dawson's got Joe Dearman in front of him. Joe Dearman gets in the way, and Jack Dreyer will get his first touch and scuffs the clearance away as far as Carl Mensah on the halfway line. Mensah looks up, chips it forward. Lovejoy was in an offside position, and one thing I've noted about them as well, I mean, Leon Lovejoy looks very dangerous in the first half, but he's not a central striker, is he?
No, he's not.
And yet they've got someone playing wide on the left there in Liam Dawson that could do a job in that position, and they've not used him.
No, I don't know what Lee Bertram's thoughts are in that. I mean, I know he's played people out of positions before, and all out of what you would think of their stronger positions before. But is it something that he's doing? And I changed for the last few games. I don't know. I don't know how they've played for the last few games, and if it's affected them in these last few results that they've had.
Sal Martin backhills the ball to Jack Green, who's Rio de Silva, who's never really had a chance to get going since he came on. It's brought down in the end. Challenge from Alex Warman's going to be a free kick to Bedford. Had 8 of the 9 added on. Coming to the death here of Watson Park as Stallard gives the ball away on the edge of the area. As Rio de Silva snaffles it back, brought down by Theo Afori, and that'll be a free kick to Bedford. Still shouting from Joe O'Brien. He's living every minute as he does inside that technical area. It's going to be Rio de Silva who's going to take it, and they're going to push everybody forward, surely. Looking for Callard, headed out by David Soter, and if Richard Enning breaks here, Ware could be in business. Richard Enning steering down the left wing. Ryan Blake going all the way back with him, and it's going to be, well, he's given the free kick to Ware. I've got no idea why, but I've criticised Ryan Blake, but fair enough, going back and defending in that manner in the last minute of the game when you're trailing 4-2. That was a bit of quality from Ryan Blake.
Yeah. I mean, he's not giving up, has he? He still wants to, try and win this game, and he's going to try for the full. I say for the full 90, for the full 105 minutes, whatever we have here, and you've got to applaud him for that.
Mark Smith from the goal away to the left-hand side. 2 Bedford players go for the same ball. Lewis Green beats Richard Enning to it, finds the aforementioned Ryan Blake down this near side, inside for Jack Green, ball given away. Richard Enning comes away with it, long ball forward looking for Theo Afori, who'd almost got behind Gallard, but Gallard punts the ball towards the halfway line to Joe Dearman. It doesn't matter because that's it. It's all over on non-league day at Watson Park, and what a victory for our home side. It's finished here. Ware 4, Bedford Town 2. And if Ware wanted revenge for that 7-1 thumping at the New Erie back in October, they have got it this afternoon. Bedford tumbled to their 3rd consecutive defeat. Ware's playoff push continues to pick up momentum, and they turned it on its head from being 2-0 down after 19 minutes. A superb second half, scored 2 from John Clements inside 2 minutes, which turned the game on its head, and then 1 in stoppage time from Theo Afori. Thoroughly deserved, excellent second half from Ware. And Simon, well, it's now time for man of the match, I guess.
Oh, I know. I mean, it really is a difficult one. But I think, for me, the man who's just come off the pitch and he's gone racing into the tunnel. He's been racing around all afternoon. He's got 2 goals, but I mean, I think the collective effort he's put in. He's had another couple of chances some of the balls he's put through. He's chased absolutely everything. I think he's possibly covered every blade of artificial grass on this pitch, and I think also the way that, when Ware went 2-0 down, he's still trying to G the team up as well, and get them behind him, get them back into the game. I'm going to give a man of the match to John Clements.
Yeah, absolutely well deserved. John Clements is our man of the match, as Ware players applaud Ware supporters who've done their bit this afternoon as well. They really got behind their side in the second half. And Ware close to within 2 points of second place Bedford. 2 big games to come, of course, over the Easter period. They've got to go to Tame next Saturday. That won't be easy because Tame are fighting for their lives at the bottom of the table. And then we will be here when they entertain Kings Langley next Easter Monday. So we'll dot the I's and cross the T's on what's been happening elsewhere in the division, but we can tell you that top 3 this morning will stay the top 3. Biggleswade Town will lead the table. Bedford will still be in second. Ware will be in third. The likelihood is if AFD Dunstable hold on to their victory, they'll be in fourth. And it will be interesting to see how that league table turns out. But Bedford 2-0 up in this one. Leon Lovejoy scoring both of those goals. The first one coming in the 13th minute when Ware couldn't get a ball clear, and he popped up inside the 18-yard area to put it beyond Freddie Burbage. Poor clearance was responsibility of Jack Grosvenor for the second one, as Lovejoy thumped it in from the edge of the area for 2-0. At that stage, looked like Bedford might be bouncing back and that Ware could be in trouble. Well, they dug in and they snaffled a goal after 25 minutes when a corner was bundled over the line by Alex Woolman. And once the second half started, there was really only one team in it. Ware got back into contention with John Clements' first goal after 48 minutes. He scored number 2 2 minutes later, and after that Bedford had no answer, and it was in second half time added on that Joe Dearman made a snaking run from the right hand side, and the ball broke to Theo Afori, who thumped it in with glee for Ware's fourth goal, leaving the full-time score at Ware 4, Bedford Town 2.
Right, well, I've just about got the full times or the scores together, and I can tell you, Pete, that AFC Dunstable, they did hold on and beat Welling Garden City by 1-0. Aylesbury United, they extended their lead from the first half, and they've doubled that, and they have 2-0 against North Lee. Tame United, we were saying about Tame United, they have scored a couple of second half goals, and they beat Biggleswade by 2-0. At the New Erie, obviously home of Bedford Town, but Biggleswade Town, they play there as well. They've won 2-0 against Kings Langley. Cirencester Town against Leighton Town, that was 2-0 at half time. It remained that, so points are shared there. Down at Brick Lane, Hertford, as we said earlier, they pulled a go back to make it 3-1, and that's how that one has finished there. Kidlington 0, Kempston Rovers 1. That's the same as it was at half time. And Waltham Abbey, they got a second goal in the second half against Stopfold, and that is 3-1.
Well, that really has changed things. National Non-League Day has changed things dramatically at the top there, will I tell you, because Biggleswade Town now will have 56 points. They will be 5 points ahead of Bedford with a game in hand. And you mentioned Tame. I mean, Tame might as well stay at the New Erie because they're there on Tuesday night as well to take on Bedford, and they're in a bit of form.
Get the local travel lodge up.
Absolutely. So Bedford will stay in second with 51 points. Ware in third with 49. AFC Dunstable fourth with 48. And Waltham Abbey fifth, also on 48. Next team down the league are North Lee, who have got 43. Well, they can't be promoted, so you've got to knock them out. So suddenly there is a 7-point gap between Waltham Abbey in 5th and Welling Garden City in 7th. It's opened up all because of the results today.
It has. I mean, obviously, let's remind people that Welling Garden City they have got
games
those
in
games.
hand.
I mean, they've got 5 games in hand on Waltham Abbey. 2 on AFC Dunstable and 4 on Ware. But I mean, I know there's been, I know Paul's said, in interviews before that, he'd rather have the points on the board. Mark Weatherston, he's perfectly happy having the games in hand, but it's all about winning those games. So it's going to be an interesting end towards the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as we're concerned, they're third, so they're 8 points clear now. In terms of the playoff place. And the other interesting thing that's happened, I mean, they had a poor goal difference, didn't they, at one point, but suddenly you look at the 3 teams around them now: Ware +5, AFC Dunstable +6, Waltham Abbey +5, and Welling Garden City, if they get in there, +5. So suddenly they're level now in terms of goal difference, a few more goals scored, and things looking extremely good for Paul Wolsey and his team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, as you said, they're on a good run. They're in good form, right at the the stage of the season where you want to be, and hopefully they'll continue that over the next couple of games.
Well, they did it last season. They did it the season before. And they got into both playoff finals, looking to make it a hat-trick of playoff finals, and hopefully third time lucky as well. But Welling Garden City still in there. Little word about Hertford, obviously. I think today was the day they dropped out of contention, which is a little bit sad to see, but it's been a magnificent job that Ben's done with those young players there. He's got a really good young team. We backed him for a top half finish this season. Hopefully they can achieve that and go on next season to go even further.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's progression. You look at the side he's produced down there, and we know it's a young team, but I think the way they're going. They're going in the right direction. They get a top half finish. I think that's a successful season for them. As we were saying, earlier, they've got a cup semi-final coming up as well. So still plenty to play for.
Certainly is. Well, it's been a magnificent afternoon here. I think it's the best game we've seen this season. You're going to take some to top that on National Non-League Day. If you're listening for the first time for non-league football, then it's great to have you listening to us, but don't forget to get out and watch a game, because you certainly won't be disappointed. If you're listening from Bedford, which I know people are, then obviously we wish your team the best for the rest of the season. And, things not quite going your way, but still time to pull things around. And I've got a feeling that these 2 teams might meet again in the playoffs, so we'll see what happens then. But as far as we're concerned, next stop will be Bexhurst, weather permitting, next week, when we'll be watching Welling Garden City against the current league leaders, Biggleswade Town. That's a big one. And then on Easter Monday, back here for Ware against Kings Langley. So wherever you've been listening to us on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct, thank you for your company. The thoughts of Paul Horsey and our man of the match, John Clements, will be coming up on 90 Minutes Live post-match. Watch out for that on our social media channels tomorrow. It's sunny at Woodston Park. It rained in the first half. Strangely, when Ware went in front, the sun came out. And also I can say that the Odd Socks did the job again.
There we go, magic socks. The
famous magic socks. But there were, 14 players actually in blue and white who did a lot more than my Odd Socks this afternoon. Congratulations to Ware. And I will leave you for a very happy Woodston Park as we go down to have a word with Paul Wolsey with a full-time score of Ware 4, Bedford Town 2.